Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Kim Possible. Now, this has got to be one of my favorite shows that Disney has ever made during the early 2000s. Next to such other great shows like The House of Mouse, American Dragon Jake Long, The Proud Family, Lilo and Stitch the series, or even the original Disney Afternoon lineup. For those who are unfamiliar with Kim Possible, here's a little history lesson. Created by Bob Shuley and Mark McCorkle, Kim Possible revolves around a high school student tasked with fighting crime on a regular basis while coping with everyday issues, commonly associated with teen adolescence. Kim is aided by her clumsy best friend and eventual love interest, Ron Stoppable, his pet naked mole rat, Rufus, and a 10-year-old computer genius named Wade. Kim and Ron's missions primarily require them to thwart the evil plans of the mad scientist supervillain duo, Dr. Draken, and his sidekick, Shigo, though they also encounter several other enemies as well throughout the show. The show ran for 4 seasons from June 2002 up till September 2007. And in my opinion, this show was absolutely amazing ever since I first heard the original theme song on Radio Disney. It had a great voice cast, great characters, great writing, and great animation. Also, the series got 2 animated specials, a crossover with Lilo and Stitch, and a live-action movie last year. Anyway, for the film I'll be blogging today, I'm going to look at Kim Possible's first animated TV special. Airing on Disney Channel on November 28, 2003, the special is Kim Possible, A Sitch in Time. So, let's get started. Kim and Ron start out a new school year, only to find out that Ron's family is moving to Norway due to his mom getting a new job. This puts a strain on their partnership, just as Dr. Draken, Shigo, Monkey Fist, and Duff Killigan team up to find and use an ancient time travel idol known as the Tempest Simia, or Time Monkey, to rule the world. Attacking Kim in the past, present, and future, can these villains succeed, or will an unforeseen force be more destructive? So, what do I think about this movie? Well, this was a really hardcore movie, and I still love it to this very day. Now let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, since there's not a lot of trivia to talk about, let's just skip forward to the animation. And in my opinion, like the rest of the series, I think the animation for this movie is absolutely excellent, though there is a little bit of CG for the time portals. Also, when it comes to Kim Possible, the most common scenes in this film are either at Middleton High School, Kim and Ron's favorite hangout place, Bueno Nacho, and Kim's battles with many supervillains. However, aside from those, my favorite scenes in this movie is when Kim and Ron first met during their preschool age, which was watched by high school Kim after Team Draken retreats, and the scene where Kim makes her own website. And of course the scene where she saves a billionaire from a web of laser beams. By the way, if I had the ability to time travel, I would just go back in time and observe. I would never meddle. Plus, to me, the final climax was pretty hardcore, epic, and futuristic. No pun intended, though. Plus, I like that this movie includes the use of Latin, which was very useful when translating the Tempest Simia. Also, this movie has a very underrated and hardcore soundtrack. First, there's Work It Out by Brassy, where Kim, Ron, and the cheerleading squad are doing a cheerleading practice. Get Up on Your Feet, performed by Aaron Carter, where Kim and Ron fight Team Draken in an African temple. E is for Everybody by Cooler Kids, where preteen Kim tries out for the cheer squad. It's Just You, sung by LMNT, where Kim uses her athletic cheerleading moves to jump through laser beams and press a button on the remote control to turn off said lasers and save a billionaire. And finally, there's This Year, performed by 18s during the end credits. And that's basically all I have for Mustang notes, so let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Our main character, Kim Possible, is voiced by Christy Carlson Romano, best known as Ren from Even Stevens, and she got to voice the great ninja Yuffie in the first Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. To me, Kim is a great character due to her confidence and adventurous personality. Also, her crime-fighting skills are absolutely awesome. Plus, I think Dakota Fanning does a great job voicing preschool Kim. Next we have Kim's sidekick and childhood best friend, Ron Stoppable, voiced by Will Friedle, whom I remember from Batman Beyond, Boy Meets World, Teen Titans, and of course Cypher from Kingdom Hearts 2. I like him too. Yeah, Ron is a tad socially awkward and clumsy, but still a great guy nonetheless. However, in this movie, even though Ron and his parents have moved to Norway, that doesn't stop Ron from helping Kim save the world. Plus, I like that Kim has given Ron a Ron-unicator, which is his version of the communicator. Next we have Ron's pet naked mole rat, Rufus, voiced by veteran voice actress Nancy Cartwright. Rufus is my favorite character in the entire show. Why? Because I think Rufus is very smart, helpful, humorous, and he's also useful during Kim's missions. Plus, I like the plot where Ron first got Rufus during his pre-teenage. You see, because of allergies, Ron's father would not allow him to have a pet with hair. So, Ron bought Rufus from a Smarty Mart. When he was first purchased, Rufus looked kind of wrinkled and his eyes were barely open. Our next character is Wade Load, a 10-year-old computer genius voiced by Taj Mowry, best known as TJ from Smart Guy. Throughout the series, Wade runs Kim's website, supplies her with various gadgets, gives her her missions, and arranges her transportation. Also, during the Future segment, Wade becomes a muscular giant voiced by the late Michael Clark Duncan. And he becomes the leader of the anti-Shigo resistance. This is Rufus 3000, a hyper-evolved futuristic descendant of Rufus, voiced by Michael Dorn, whom I remember as the Sandman from the Santa Claus sequels. I find this future Rufus to be a very interesting character, due to his hardcore attitude, as well as his leadership and his determination to restore the timeline. Also, I like that he gives Kim a chrono manipulator so that she can travel through time, and later when he gets Ron to help her. Also, I find it cool that Rufus manages technical equipment and weaponry. As for the other characters, we have Kim's twin brothers, Jim and Tim, both voiced by Sean Fleming. Best known as the Kingdom Hearts Tidus, and Keone from Lilo and Stitch the series. Throughout the show, these two tweebs can be very annoying and mischievous, but on the positive side, they do display a talent for inventing, and they are pretty smart too. In the future, not only are they voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., but they become members of the anti-Shigo resistance. Next is Monique, voiced by Raven Simone, the star of That's So Raven and the Cheetah Girls. And she got to be in the Tinkerbell movies. Monique is considered as Kim's best girlfriend, giving her level-headed advice about school and life. On a few occasions, Monique assists Kim on her missions, even though she lacks fighting skills. However, in the future, Monique is voiced by Vivica A. Fox. And she has a special weapon that shoots CD-shaped shurikens. It's like they say, music is a weapon. We also have Bonnie Rockwaller, voiced by Kirsten Storms. Best known from the Xenon trilogy. Now, to be honest, guys, I never really liked Bonnie in the series, due to her dismissive and superior attitude towards everybody in her class. Also, in the future, Bonnie gets voiced by Kelly Ripa, and she becomes one of Shigo's minions and a teacher at the disciplinary center, which used to be Middleton High School. Now let's move on to the villains, starting with Monkey Fist, voiced by Tom Kane. Best known as Professor Utonium and him on the Powerpuff Girls, and Darwin from the Wild Thornberrys. This guy used to be a British nobleman, an explorer, and an archaeologist named Monty Fisk. But several genetic procedures and experimental surgeries replaced his hands and feet with those of a monkey. It is implied that Monkey Fist is obsessed with increasing his power through various mystical artifacts and prophecies, and he wants to become a Monkey King. In my opinion, the most interesting scene in this movie that Monkey Fist is involved with is when he goes back into the past and retrieves a huge rock gorilla to attack Kim. But it quickly fails when Ron destroys it by activating the security lasers. Next is Duff Killigan, the world's deadliest golfer, voiced by Brian George. Best known from The Big Bang Theory and as Captain Barbossa from Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Duff is an irate Scotsman whose weapon of choice is a set of golf clubs and exploding golf balls. In the future, Duff becomes Robo-Duff, the world's deadliest golfing cyborg, left with no visible parts of his body except for his head, in a wheeled exosuit that enables him to produce exploding golf balls that he hits at his enemies. Next is Kim's arch nemesis, Dr. Draken, voiced by John DiMaggio. His real name is Drew Lipsky, and he used to be friends with Kim's dad. In my opinion, Draken is a real nutcase, but still a highly intelligent supervillain. Also, I think it was kind of strange, but still clever, when he used a Juvenator to turn himself, along with Monkey Fist and Duff Killigan, into toddlers in order to infiltrate the 4-year-old Kim's preschool. In the future, Draken becomes Shigo's slave and has undergone genetic enhancements to make him superhumanly strong. Finally, we have Dr. Draken's sidekick and the real villain of the movie, Shigo, voiced by Nicole Sullivan. Best known from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command and Meet the Robinsons. Shigo is, by far, Kim's most dangerous enemy yet. She has the ability to generate powerful green energy blasts from her hands. One interesting note about Shigo is that she used to be a superheroine alongside her brothers as part of Team Go. Anyway, in this movie, mostly Shigo sits on the sidelines while the other villains do most of the work, though she still fights Kim anyway. But after meeting her future self, she's urged to steal the Time Monkey and escape to change time. By the way, when I first saw this special on TV, I was really surprised when Shigo was revealed to be the Supreme One. Anyway, in the future, Shigo becomes a dictator of the world, and she enslaved the entire global population, forcing everybody to dress exactly like her. Plus, she put extreme and invasive surveillance, and she forbids free thinking. Not only that, but she was also the reason why Ron moved to Norway, and she destroyed Bueno Nacho. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Kim Possible, A Sitch in Time is a really excellent special. It has the same strength that the TV show has, like good dialogue and jokes, strong characters, and great animation. Plus, I find the soundtrack to be very underrated, and Shigo as the main villain was really surprising. Also, the past segments where Kim and Ron first met during preschool, and when Ron first got Rufus during their pre-teenage, was the most memorable parts of the movie to me. And I also like the fight scenes, and I think the voice cast does a great job. So, if you want to watch this movie, just enjoy it for how it is, and don't worry on how it affects the overall story. As for my rating, I give this movie a 95% out of 100. Now, will I blog the sequel, So the Drama? Well, maybe someday after the coronavirus dies down. But anyway, be sure to join me again next time as we move away from Disney and onto Nickelodeon to join a group of babies for their first adventure on the big screen. Mustang Power!